What is going on, everybody? How you all doing out there? I hope this video is finding you well. Welcome or welcome back to Get Right On In. My name is Andrew, for those of you who do not know, and today, since my Supernatural Seasons tier ranking has done so well on this channel, I thought I would give another go to do one for one of my other favorite TV shows, in that of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. This show has been very pivotal in my life. I started watching it when I was in high school, and I'm not really sure what or who or where I would be without it, so I thought I would just take a moment to talk about it and rank the seasons like I did with that Supernatural video. So with all of that now out of the way, without further ado, let's just get right on in. Okay, well, now that we are here, fun surprise for all of us. Apparently, we are also going to be including the Angel seasons in all of this, just because I didn't know that there wasn't just an option for Buffy. There was one, but I just didn't like the little side answers for it. I like it when there's actually little, like, words like this. But we are going to start at the bottom and move our way up as far as the what the hell happened, bad, 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 not so sure about these, very mediocre, yeah, these were pretty solid, second best of the best, and then the absolute best of the best. So, oh my gosh, now I'm nervous. Now I'm super nervous that this is gonna happen. Okay, first up, I think under the what the hell happened, Buffy season 7. Buffy season 7, okay. I personally enjoyed at least the series finale of this, but the whole season as a whole, I'm pretty sure a lot of us actually agree with this. And for those of you who do not know, Buffy was actually originally finished after season 5, and then there was kind of a little bit of a fan, like, let's bring it back, and so it was picked up by a different network. The UPN picked it up after it was on the WB, so seasons 6 and 7 were done kind of after the show was originally supposed to be finished. Season 7, it just, there was the potential, I think, for it to be really good. Potential, funny, because that's what the whole season was about, was all of the Slayer potentials. But I just think that they ultimately, I don't know, and what was going on with Spike was just so weird, and the whole entire, I don't know, the Uber Vamps, they were cool, but it was also one of those, like, where were they the whole entire time? So I don't know, I think season 7 was ultimately just gonna be at the bottom of the list as far as Buffy seasons go. And I'm gonna put that right there with Angel season 4 as well, because, well, especially because now recently, I suppose, what we have heard from Miss Charisma Carpenter, I think that what they did to Cordelia was a little bit dirty, and I think that that whole season just took a very weird turn. And I'm trying to keep this, like, spoiler free as well, but I feel like if you have seen Angel and you know about what happened with Cordelia and Angel's son, then I feel like that would make all of this make a little more sense, except what things just got a little weird. I don't really know what else to say about that. Next up, under the bad, 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 I'm just gonna put Angel season 1. It wasn't my favorite. I thought that Angel took a little bit of time to actually get its swing of things. The first season just felt, I don't know, it was hard because there was only 3 people, you know, Cordelia, Angel, and then what was that guy's name? Exactly. That's exactly my point. I don't even remember the guy's name from the first season because he died. Doyle, that was the guy. There was Doyle, who was in like 5 episodes, and then he was replaced by Wesley, and then Wesley, Cordelia, and Angel were just kind of like the 3 main characters for the first season, and it just felt, I don't know, I wanted more people to connect to, and I don't think that we had that ability until we moved on into season 2, which was just ultimately, I think, a lot better. I also think that I'm gonna put Angel season 3 under the bad, 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 just because it wasn't very good. Good. So under I'm not so sure about these, I am going to go ahead and put Buffy season 1, Buffy season 4, and Angel season 5. just because I'm not so sure about these, to be honest. With Buffy season 1, the thing is I understand that the TV show itself kind of came around as a mid-season replacement. I'm not sure what TV show it actually replaced, but Buffy the Vampire Slayer was originally a movie, just in case you didn't know that. Came out in the early 90s and ended up being like a B-rated horror film, even though Joss Whedon had other ideas for it and felt ultimately like his creative powers were taken away, which is why he wanted to pitch it as a TV show later on, which was originally denied and then picked up as a mid-season replacement later on. So they had to kind of throw all of these together like that, and I don't know. So season 1 was what it was. I think for nostalgia purposes, it can rank pretty high for a lot of people, but I'm not really sure how I feel too much about season 1. Maybe I'm just tired of it too, because it's the one that I show everybody before they go off and just watch it all by themselves. But yeah, season 1 of Buffy was just not really the best. Neither was season 4 with the initiative and the whole military aspect of everything. Buffy's first year in college, like, I liked it, but I just, outside of Hush, which is the best Buffy episode in existence, I'm just not really sure that that season brought us too much else, except for obviously Willow and what happened with her in Oz. But I don't think that that storyline in and of itself was strong enough to put that season higher, although it did end up bringing us Tara, but Tara was just more important later on. Ooh, here I go again. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. Alright, so under very mediocre, I'm going to go with Angel season 2. And I'm just gonna leave that there like that, just because that, I said, was when I did believe that Angel started to pick up some of its steam. That is when we met Gunn. That is when we met Fred, even though Fred didn't come until a little closer toward the end. But I do think that season 2 was when Angel started to find a little bit of its stride. And it is one of the better seasons, I think, out there. Obviously, since it's the one that I have rated the highest out of all of the Angel seasons, you can also clearly tell that Angel, in my opinion, just wasn't as good as Buffy was, and that's just kind of how it is. I didn't like the way that Angel ended. I didn't like a lot of the things that happened in Angel, and I do feel like Angel did have some potential in it as well, but I just ultimately, I guess, feel like it didn't work out. So I don't know, that's as high as I'm going, is very mediocre with anything from Angel. Next up, under Yes, pretty solid, I'm gonna go with Buffy season 5. It wasn't my favorite, it wasn't my least favorite. The first couple times I watched this show, it was actually the one that I kind of forgot about the most, but it also was originally the end of the show. I don't really want to talk about how season 5 ended for those of you who might not know, but the original ending was probably way better than what actually ended the show, but I enjoyed what happened with Glory. This was the season that we got to meet Dawn. The episode entitled The Body, if you've seen this show, then you already know what episode I'm talking about, and I don't have to really talk too much else about that, but that was one of the best episodes of like any TV show I feel like I've ever seen in my life. It was so heart-wrenching and just so amazing, and everything that happened in that season was really very interesting look at family and the importance of family and found families versus blood families versus all of that. So I just think that that was overall a really well done season. Under the second best of the best here, I'm going to go with season 3 and season 6, just because, I mean, okay, season 3 obviously was the last year of high school. Everything that happened there with the graduation, everything that happened with Faith was so good. I loved every ounce of that season so much, especially because it started to take a little bit more of a darker turn than what we had seen from seasons 1 and 2, even though obviously I haven't talked about season 2 just yet. But I did think that season 3 was definitely one of the stronger seasons, as well as with season 6. I loved the themes of addiction. I loved how things happened with Willow Willow, which I don't want to talk too much about because again, I'm trying to keep this all spoiler free. But if you have seen the cover for season 6, then I mean, you might have some guesses as to what might happen to Willow. You just might not have some guesses as to why. But especially with some of the aftermath of how season 5 ended and what Buffy herself actually went through in this season, I just think the ideas of life and the importance of living and how difficult life can be, as well as like what I said with the addiction elements that were found in this season as well, I just thought were really well done. It was the darkest of the Buffy seasons in my opinion. Originally, I think that was why I liked it so much, because I was kind of a dark soul back in high school myself when I first watched all of this. But even now, all these years later, when I come back to this season, I just really appreciate what they were trying to do with it, even though I do think that it is kind of a polarizing season, because I don't think everybody liked it, especially because the show was originally, like I said, supposed to finish up after season 5. So I think that there were some iffy-ish opinions, but I personally really enjoyed season 6, and I think that it was one of the best season finales out of any of them, because oh my gosh, if you've seen it then you know, and if you haven't then you should definitely make it at least to season 6, even though there's only 7 seasons. You should definitely see what is going on with all of that. Which then of course leaves me to the best of the best, Buffy season 2, which is when all of it kicked off. All of it. I mean, I've said already that season 1 was a mid-season replacement, so the 12 episodes that consist of that season were very quickly put together, very low budgets, a lot of people have problems, I guess, with that in this day and age. I would say that that would be the hardest thing for people to get behind, is just kind of how cheesy season 1 was. But then season 2 comes in, and then that was when the show started to get the money and the attention and the time that was required to actually produce the show. Also, this is when we started to be able to get attached to some of the characters and their relationships, and what happened to those relationships, and what happens when those kind of relationships end. And also, I mean, there's the themes of virginity, and there's themes of ex-boyfriend, girlfriends going womp crazy on each other, and I don't know, season 2 was so intense. It is definitely when this show just skyrocketed to the top. When it was originally coming out, there's 2 episodes in this season that deal with Buffy's birthday, and the first one came out on the regular day that they had always been coming out. I'm pretty sure it was on Tuesdays, but then they switched into, I think, a Wednesday date of the episodes coming out, and people still followed on the day change just because they were so ready to see what was gonna happen on part 2 of Buffy's birthday. Because yeah, Buffy's birthday, oh my gosh. And then this is a season that introduced us to Spike and Drusilla. Drusilla is one of my favorite characters, like across the board of like any TV show I think I've ever seen. I love Drusilla so much. She actually had a lot of inspiration that went into one of my characters in my little fantasy book that may or may not ever actually come out, and her name was, and that was Alvara. So I don't know, I loved everything that happened out of season 2. I just think that if this season hadn't ever existed, then the Buffyverse as we now have come to know it wouldn't have existed either. And there we have it, folks. Here is my ranking of both the Buffy and Angel seasons, even though, like I said earlier, I wasn't planning on doing Angel when I initially started this video. How would you rank all of these seasons? Let me know down in those comments. Do you agree with my picks, or how do they differ? I'm definitely open to all sorts of different opinions and comments and things. It has been one of the most interesting things for me from that Supernatural video that I put out with that season's tier ranking, because people have just differing opinions and I love hearing them. So let me know what you think of this show and how you would rank the seasons down in those comments. You don't have to do Angel if you don't want to, if you haven't seen that, but I'd love to know all of your thoughts either way. If you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you would also consider giving it a little thumbs up, as well as potentially pressing on that little subscribe button so you can join me on Tuesdays and Thursdays and sometimes on Sundays for bookish and writerly and entertainment-y-esque content just like this. In the meantime, I hope you all have a day just as beautiful as you, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!